just probably my quick impressions. So I'm going to do a review on Vooks, so a written review. I don't think we'll come back to this game. So, I played a lot of it. I just don't want to call this a review yet because I haven't finalized my thoughts on it. I think like off the bat, it's a mech fighting game, like an arena fighting game.
So sorry, when you say arena, like Power Stone Virtual On?
Yeah,
Or...
yeah.
Okay.
Less technical, obviously, but yeah, like Power Stone was always the first thing that I thought of.
Okay. Right.
And I mean, that's probably an old reference to people nowadays. What's that Dragon Ball game? There's a Dragon Ball Arena Fighter game. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, there's so many Dragon Ball games.
Yeah, no, it's not fighters. It's I can't remember the
Xenoverse, or I don't know. There's so many of them.
Yeah, something like that. Now, yeah, like I said at the head of the show, I do find this really difficult to review just because arena fighters, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. I don't mind them, but I must admit, playing all the way through this game, I just found myself wanting to play ARMS more. So ARMS is also a bit of an arena fighter, less dynamic in terms of its movement. Like you are pretty much locked in to the other opponent. But in this game, it allows you to actually like basically detach your view and just move around freely in the arena. Look, I think the difficult thing about the game to me is, it is an indie game, but the level of polish that you need to have on these type of games is so high, and it's just so difficult to put the time and energy to. It feels that there's so many mechs in the game that they probably spent more time on the design, the feel, because you can upgrade the mech, do all this stuff with the mech. And there's a very small team that made this game, that I think the balancing of the game suffers. Because for me, like, I'm not very good at fighting games. Like, I'm probably average or maybe a little bit above average. But, I found it very easy to start to cheese this game, where I'll just pick a mech and basically, like, the neutral of this game, like, when you're not engaged in combat and then getting in on an opponent, it's like you just allow them to come to you, and then your attacks, the range of them are so large that when the opponent's coming in, they can't really initiate an attack. So there's kind of nothing that they can do. And I'm starting to like win matches where I don't even get damage.
So is it the old Mortal Kombat one trick of just wait for the computer to walk to you and you uppercut them?
Yeah, well, like, no, honestly, like, I'm kind of like at that stage already, and I've put hours and hours into this game, and there's free for alls where it's like 4 fighters and everyone's against each other. I'm just like bashing the hell out of everyone, like all the AI. Now the game does have online component. For whatever reason, I don't like playing random people in fighting games
because you lose and they're not as easy as the AI.
No, not really, not really. I don't. I just
you can't use the strategy of just waiting there.
No, I don't know. There's something about it I just don't enjoy as much. But I will try that out to do a comprehensive review of it. But yeah, look, not loving this game. There are a lot of cool things in it. It's got a really cool design. It does struggle, and it's got
Ultraman. Come on. Yeah.
Well, Ultraman's a DLC, and I was kind of annoyed with that as well. Because if Ultraman was like in the base game, then I'd probably give it a half a point more, just because that's pretty sick. You can pick Ultraman. But I understand from a marketing point of view they can't do it. But then again, this game is like a $60 Australian game, like a full price game in Australia. And wait, am I right about that? I should correct myself.
60 is not full price technically.
It's probably is on Switch, no doubt.
The lower.
I just remember looking at it and going, oh, like it feels a bit unfair how this is priced if you want to get Ultraman. I can't.
Well, that's the same with any DLC, isn't it? Like, if you look at
most
of the games, you can buy the base game for relative peanuts. Like Forza's a good example. You buy the base game, you get 400 or 500 cars or whatever it is for $60, and then just to get 2-3 other cars it costs you $15. The maths doesn't add up.
Yeah. Okay, I stand corrected. It's like, so from a US perspective where full games are $60, to get the Ultraman version of this game it's $40, which
US.
Yeah, US.
Okay.
US.
So it's the same as here being 100 for a regular game and 60 probably costs like 70 something bucks.
Well, it's all changing here now as well, right?
Because it's weird. Well, yeah, because of the new gen and stuff.
I
but
know.
it's still weird. I guess the problem is because it was Christmas time, you can't even really judge it properly because so many of the latest games, like Valhalla was what, 59, 49 kind of bucks for PS5. They were cheaper than even the previous generation, so it's really hard to compare until the new year, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so look, like I said, not huge fan of this game. I don't think it's a bad game. I just think it's kind of an okay game. Yeah, it's 50 Australian dollars this game. And then the DLC
So it's probably
is
priced well then.
15, so it's like $65.
Wait, $15 for DLC?
Yeah,
Well,
Ultraman.
how is that a surprise? Most games have DLCs
What?
that are at least 15 bucks.
No, but
Is
I'm
it?
just thinking like I don't know. I don't know everything that's in this DLC pack. Obviously, there could be more than
That's the
just
season pass.
character.
That's the season pass. The
Okay,
character by
okay.
itself is $4.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so that's
fine.
pretty cheap.
That's what I was
actually,
kind
when
of
you think about
expecting.
Yeah.
$4 is cheap. The game seems reasonably priced, to be honest.
55 Australian dollars for this game, I think is overpriced for me
You
personally.
reckon?
Yeah. Because this game is really bare bones. This game is, and to be fair, actually, ARMS, so that's the Nintendo Arena Fighter. It's the second Nintendo fighting game that was ever made. ARMS is very bare bones. Like, it's just as bare bones as this game, to be fair. But, you know, maybe I'm spoiled. You know, like Mortal Kombat 11, huge story to that. Smash Brothers, you got all the World of Light story. This game really is like fighting and then just a bit of fluff around the fighting. And yeah, it doesn't feel to me like a $55 game. Now, like if you're into these type of games, so this is a sequel, obviously. So if you like Override, I'm sure this game is great. You know, like it's a game that would make sense for you to get if you enjoyed Override. If you like Mech, it's probably decent. It does run not so great on the Switch though, from what I've seen compared to the PC and PS4 versions. It runs on Unreal Engine. And I think, you know, you need a Switch Pro now to run these type of games smoothly. Like it literally hitches at some parts. And for a fighting game, like if you're really going to get serious about a fighting game, you can't have it like hitching. You need to have it pretty locked in for it to, you know, be viable. So
I've noticed that a few with a bunch of Switch ports now that, like, I wanted to get Pillars of Eternity and a bunch of other games like that, and read reviews, and people are just saying it's just a really, really bad port, to the extent that I don't even know why they bother porting it. Like,
yeah.
it's just a complete afterthought.
Well, Pillars
Yeah,
of
no, I
Eternity,
agree.
like to play that in handheld mode would be absolutely terrible.
You reckon? I think it'd be awesome to kind of just have that. And I
No,
guess
just-
the interface would be a bit.
Well, that's what
hard
I'm saying.
to
Unless
use,
they've done a
but
lot of work to scale a lot of that stuff up, like that game.
I think they haven't. Is the problem?
That game has so like it's quite zoomed out, and you can, you know, there's things you can do there, but to me that needs to be on a TV or a computer PC screen.
I guess I would
Yeah.
have just loved that. One game that I would absolutely buy the shit out of at full price if it came out is Fallout. If they remade, as in if they, you know, put Fallout 1 and 2, it'd just be so awesome on the Switch.
All right, well, let's get into the next segment. Override 2, see my full thoughts on vooks.net, but I won't come back to it on the show. Like I said, probably not for me. Okay game overall, to be fair to it. All right, well, let's get into a segment